Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Danzhou part number TS-200CP. This is a chrome-plated strike plate is what it is. This would be a strike that you would see for a deadbolt. They call this a thimble strike, and if you use your imagination, you can kind of see why they might call it a thimble strike. You know, obviously thimble is what they're thinking of. Rectangular, no lip naturally. This would be appropriate for installations in a steel frame. Why? Well, because it's rectangular. Round would work as well, but you can easily cut with a jigsaw a rectangular preparation in your steel frame. I would see no reason why this wouldn't work in a wood frame, except that these detents here underneath, that's meant to kind of snap and fit into your steel frame. It's going to have a couple of holes in the bottom of it, and that's going to be intended for you to run those screws back into your studs that would be behind there. Okay. Regardless of it being a wood frame or a steel frame, you'll have wood construction behind, or at least proper construction would be wood construction behind a frame. Okay. This has a nice generous size, so you can be a little bit liberal with your exact placement, but there's no reason to guess about any of that. Let's go over some dimensional properties, and then we'll look at the template. Overall height of the strike, about 1 5/8 inches. Overall width, about 1 1/8 inches. If I put my caliper on the strike itself, in terms of what size prep I would need, I would think I'm going to be somewhere right in the range of 1.4, 1.5 overall height, 1.5 inches overall height. The width, I would put myself right at about 1 inch in the width. Okay, thickness of this lip, you take that dimension, it's quite thin, 0.037. 0.037, and overall depth about 1 inch and 5/16. Now let's switch to the screen view and take a look at the template, and we'll also look at the product catalog that's there as well. Now this is the product that we're looking at. The CP stands for chrome plated. Here's our template, and as we pull that up, you can see they give us those dimensions that we have all but verified. Okay, locations for the holes, TS-200. That's the technical drawing of the item. Now, the product catalog, and that's handy because that will allow us to review all of the sister products as it pertains to Danzhou strikes. Okay, now this product catalog is handy because it will allow you to go through all of that. And what's interesting is they don't have this square thimble strike in this version of this catalog. And I've hopped over to the manufacturer's site, and they don't have anything listed here either, unfortunately. Strike plates. Oh, there it is. Okay, so yeah, they've got a photograph of it. They have their, what would be a cut sheet, and then the template, which we've already looked at. There is another strike that I wanted to show you, and that will be in the product catalog. And that's the, okay, the BX-2 SDS. This is a very common optional strike. This is a much more robust strike with a armored front construction. Okay, exterior plate with an armor backing, an integral dust box. That BX-2 SDS, that's a common strike. We go through spurts of selling that often, and here's what it looks like. Okay, so that's a not uncommon strike that you might want to be reviewing as well. Now, as we move back to our item here, back to the product catalog we were looking at, this is handy because you'll be able to review all of the strikes available from Danzhou, and this thimble strike itself, this rectangular thimble, it's awfully nice because you have two choices with thimble strikes from the manufacturer. And the other is, well, we can just look at it here, is this round thimble strike. And that works well too. I can tell you that the margin on this needs to be very accurate in terms of lining that up. I might like the rectangular a little bit more, only because it will allow you to use perhaps a much more heavy-duty, robust deadbolt, maybe something high security by Multi-Lock or others. And that thimble strike would really be for your standard caliber items. Sorry, I keep clicking on that. Would be for your standard caliber items that we may not use in all instances. So be mindful, there are two options. Now let's switch back to the camera view, take the inside dimensions of this strike so you know what it is, and then we'll finish up this video. Now the inside dimensions of this strike, let's get accurate with that. An overall width, or an inside width of the strike is 0.868. 0.868. Okay, so almost 7/8 of an inch wide. Overall height is going to be 1.41. 1.41, so basically 1 3/8 tall, and that will be adequate for a 1-inch tall bolt. Certainly allow that to be where you positioned it. I would look to position the strike in the frame so that, follow me on this. This is for a deadbolt, not for a latch. Your door closes. Let's assume you have weather stripping. Your door closes and latches, and the door will have a tendency to relax a little bit, or relief away from, or bias away from the face of the weather stripping. Okay? You're going to want to, it would be good if you calculated in your head where you might marginally, like a 1/16 of an inch, relocate that lateral center line so that when you throw the deadbolt, you're not having a tendency of hitting so that when you throw the deadbolt, because the door has relaxed, you don't want to hit the inside of this or the pull side elevation of that strike. You're going to want to bias this a little bit away from the face of the stop, because assuming you have weather stripping, when you pull that door closed, it'll just relax a little bit. So you're going to want to bias this. Not have the vertical center line absolutely the same. I might cheat it by a 1/16 of an inch. And I say that because that feature is a hallmark on very high-end boutique manufacturers' lock set strikes. Boutique lock set manufacturers, their strike plates don't have those holes for a deadbolt and the latch for their mortise locks in the same vertical center line. That deadbolt is biased out a little bit because they know when you pull your door closed, the door is going to move back a little bit. When you throw your deadbolt, you want it to sink right in solidly and have any slop or any play on the inside of that not absolutely biased to one end to where you can pull it more than otherwise and have your bolt hitting up hard against the, well, what would be the outside. So cheating it to balance that is the point I'm trying to make. A bit esoteric of a suggestion, but nonetheless, if you're going to do it, you might consider biasing that towards the outside of the frame ever so slightly, just to buy the amount of relax that if it does, that your door might encounter. Okay, so we've covered all the dimensional properties. Finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's site, where you can pull up not only all of the Danjo products that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. This is also available in the BP, a brass plated, as well as this chrome finish that you see here. Any questions on the Danjo TS-200-CP chrome plated strike or any other Danjo product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.